Who says your cooking has to be perfect? Whoever it is, I'd stop listening to them. Even if it's your own voice, in your own head, because your cooking only has to make you proud, even if it's not perfect. So we're going to examine non-perfect cooking today on the Carefree Cooks Code. I'm Chef Todd Moore, and this is the Carefree Cooks Code, every Tuesday live at noon Eastern. Here's our challenge. How can home cooks cook freely with creativity, confidence, and pride while ignoring recipes and still impressing themselves and others with what they cook? Well, the answer is found in becoming empowered with how cooking works, using dependable and repeatable methods of cooking that work for any ingredient, for any diet, and any desire, just like chefs do. And we'll know we've cracked it when everyone sees cooking as an exciting and rewarding way to improve their relationships, their lifestyles, and their health through better food and cooking. This is the Carefree Cooks Code. Oh, yes, yes, yes! Welcome back to the Carefree Cooks Code, everyone. This is the weekly show for methods, techniques, and insights into better food and cooking. We're live every Tuesday at noon Eastern. It's the day I get really excited and hopped up. It's my most excited day. That's good. And if you want to see me get most excited sometime in the past, go to the archive at facebook.com/chef.todd.moore/videos. And if you want to see what I'm cooking for dinner, let me explain how I did it. Follow Chef Todd Moore on Instagram as well. Because I'm a carefree cook, I create my own recipes. This brings friends and family together, and I learn every time I cook. I create my own cooking style because I practice pro methods, and I love my cooking. Well, here we are. I'm so glad we're back together again today, live from beautiful downtown Baltimore, Maryland. That's right. You know my Baltimore pride. Everybody does. I hate to hear anyone disparage it. This is the home of Johns Hopkins Hospital. They're helping us out lately, a little bit. The med school there. Right behind me is the Peabody Institute for the Arts. Baltimore has the first ever U.S. post office, the first ever dental school in the U.S. We are the largest independent city. A block away is the first monument ever dedicated to George Washington. 10 blocks that way, Fort McHenry and the gorgeous Inner Harbor, the home of Babe Ruth, Edgar Allan Poe, Frank Zappa, Michael Phelps, Pam Shriver, Cal Ripken, Tupac Shakur, Thurgood Marshall, Reginald Lewis, Billie Holiday, Cab Calloway. The Star-Spangled Banner was written here. The ships that were built in Fells Point by the people that really gave independence to the United States. I wasn't born here, but it's my hometown. Baltimore, Maryland. All right. True or false? Let's get working. I get riled up. True or false today? Tell me in the comments section below this statement: salted water will boil faster than fresh water. In other words, if you salt your water making pasta or something, will it boil faster? True or false in the comments section below. Look, I'm here today to address a big lie that's going around, and I have got to put an end to it here and now today. This big lie is the idea that your cooking has to be perfect. It doesn't. Your cooking does not need to be perfect to be delicious and make you happy and proud. It's the imperfect ones that are the learning moments, right? Cooking is an art form, and it can be judged like art, subjectively. I went to an art museum. They had a bunch of laundry on the floor. I thought I was going to clean it up. No, it was an exhibit. It's the laundry day, you know? So if this is all so subjective, where does this idea that perfect cooking is the only worthwhile cooking come from? I know where this idea comes from, that your cooking has to be perfect. I know exactly where it comes from, and it jumped off the screen at me the other day. That's why we're talking about it now. That's why I'm worked up today, because I saw this and I was really kind of ticked off at first. Okay, now, I got over it. I'm good, because I was watching the food TV this weekend, and I normally don't do that. I don't watch the food TV because So much of it is competition. I just hate that. I don't think cooking should be a competition. I don't think people should ever be eliminated from a kitchen. I'm inclusionary. I don't think the kitchen is supposed to be the pressure cooker. the microphone, I don't think anybody should be crying when they love cooking. It's so contradictory to me. But anyway, that's another soap opera. Ironically, food TV, it doesn't help people learn how to cook. It can be really, really mean. Food TV can be mean, and food TV can be really wrong also. Wrong about cooking. And I saw an example of it just a few days ago because they're continuing with this one big lie, and they're putting a whole mess of unneeded pressure on you because they love this little trick that they do. They love this trick so much that it's on every food TV show. No matter if it's your basic stand and stir, somebody stands there and cooks. If it's America's best cooks, America's worst cooks, it's the chop iron kitchen chefs cooking with somebody that won a game show that I never heard of before, and now they have their own show. I don't know. But they are all giving you this one big lie. And I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. I've been teaching online since 2008. Right? I have thousands of videos out there, dozens of online courses, and I've never pulled this cheap trick on you, and I never will. So, you want to know? You want to know whose fault all of this is? Yeah, that's right. It's Valerie Bertinelli's fault. It is. She's the one that totally ticked me off. No, I'm only kidding. It's not Valerie's fault. I love Valerie Bertinelli. I'm not here to pick on Valerie Bertinelli today. She's a national treasure. And, if I think back, when I was about 16 years old, I really loved Valerie Bertinelli. And so, yeah, let's get on. She was so cute, right? She was married to Eddie Van Halen. He had that great hair. How cool is that? Be married to Eddie. Anyway, I'm flipping through the channels this weekend and I come across Valerie's cooking show. And again, I love Valerie Bertinelli. Just not picking on her. None of this is really her fault. But she's making a ribeye steak with risole potatoes, she said. The risole potatoes are those small little white potatoes. They're steamed or simmered and then you saute them in butter and fresh herbs. It's good. Valerie used half a stick of butter for about a pound of potatoes. We'll talk about that another time. If you're going to teach people things, I wouldn't teach them to use an entire stick of butter on potatoes. But that's not even it. What I saw her do, and I see so many of the other food entertainment shows do, is fake it for the camera. And it's not Valerie's fault. It's all done in editing afterward. Valerie's dishes always look great, and she's great to watch, but this is what the TV producers make her do. Because this is what happened. She said that she was going to heat up her cast iron skillet in the oven. First thing, going to heat up my cast iron skillet in 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And she puts this brand new cast iron pan in the oven. She stirs the potatoes around, puts more butter on them probably. She talks a little bit more. Did I mention that she used half a stick of butter on the potatoes? Anyway, she comes back into the pan in the oven and she takes the pan out with her hot gloves and she pours olive oil in the pan and nothing. If that pan was in a 450 degree oven for that long, that oil should have smoked about immediately. But smoking oil doesn't look good for the camera. So she went ahead and she put the cold steak in the cold pan and nothing. No reaction. Valerie continues to talk, but then all of a sudden, edit! And the steak is sizzling in the pan. She looks one way, no sizzle. She looks back the other way, suddenly sizzle. And it's not because of the heat in the pan suddenly built up. It's because of good video editing in the back. And if this show were education instead of entertainment, they would have Valerie discuss. What would you do if your pan wasn't ready yet? How would you start over? Teach me, Valerie. Teach me how to recover from something that didn't come out perfectly. But they're not going to do that Because everything does come out perfectly on TV. The host tastes the food. It's always delicious. It's always perfect. Of course, the meal is perfectly timed. Everything comes out perfect, on perfect timing. Everything is perfect. It's like a 1970s sitcom, is what it is. Food TV is like a 1970s sitcom because everything comes out perfectly in the end. Everything will always be perfect because Snyder can come fix the plumbing or something, right? That's the big lie they're telling you. That Snyder is here for you. They're telling you that everything will always come out perfect. And if it's not perfect, then you're not doing it right. And of course, that must be your fault. Not my fault. I wrote the recipe. Recipe's fine. It's your fault. So, I mean, don't you see? Theirs comes out perfectly, yours doesn't. And then they blame you. Every magazine, every photo, in every cookbook, every food TV host is perfect. But I'll confess, I'll tell you right now, I'm not. I am not perfect. And my cooking rarely is perfect. For all the years I've studied it, because I always think that I can learn something new. I always think I can make it even better next time. It's a journey, right? And I suspect, let me just take a guess, you don't think you're perfect either. And maybe your cooking isn't. So look, what goes on in our kitchens, we got to agree, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, if your appearance expectations are coming from fashion magazines, it's like your cooking expectations coming from a TV show. You're always going to be disappointed. You're never going to meet that goal. And it's unfair. It's just really unfair to you. They're editing out the non-perfect parts. And it's the non-perfect parts where you learn. And they cut out the parts where you learn. The non-perfect parts are where life happens. And when you cut out the non-perfect, you cut out the life. You cut out the real. But when you have a true joy of cooking, right? When you love the process of cooking, the smell, the onions, the knife in your hand, the tsh, the psh, all the other sound effects, when you love it, when you have fun putting a new inspiration together, does the end have to be perfect? No, it's the journey. That's the point. And you've heard me say it 1,000 times. If it's good to you, it's good. That's the only test. If you like it, then it's good. And if you're a carefree cook that uses your command of basic cooking methods and whips up some kind of original meal from your heart with the ingredients that you love, how could it ever be wrong? How could you ever let someone tell you it's wrong? I don't care if you decide you're making carefree stroganoff, right? That normally has beef, you put seafood in it. Who's to say whether that's perfect or not? Only the people at your table, right? Or you. Nobody but you can tell when your cooking is perfect. And if you're honest, it's never going to be perfect because you want to do something better next time. Great cooking does not have to be perfect. It just needs to make you happy and proud. And so the soapbox that I'm standing on today comes from a comment I got this week in one of my classes. And you guys probably know how I teach the endless possibilities that come with the 9 steps in the basic sauté method. And what I do in this class is the 9 steps. I make my famous South of France chicken, which demonstrates this method, but then I change up the ingredients and we use the same methods to make a whole bunch of worldwide flavors. So we use the same 9 steps in the sauté method, and then I make South of Mexico chicken. We use the same 9 steps, we change the ingredients, it's South of Italy chicken. We use the same 9 steps, I make it South of Hawaii chicken, is the next one that I did. Put pineapples in it. Well, the point here is that I use the same method over and over again, but change the ingredients for an endless number of original dishes. That's how we teach it in web cooking classes, okay? If you're a web cooking classes member, you already know that. And if you're not, you might be learning this for the first time because this is where it sets everybody free. Carefree cooks understand this. It's basically our mantra and our philosophy. Cook anything. in any style, for any diet or any desire when you use a repeatable, dependable method. And, I think, I think this is really cool stuff. I think this is revolutionary. And again, I've been teaching online since 2008, and I hear that it's changed thousands of lives. I mean, you should see the emails and comments I get every day. But the comment that I got on this class was, just because you put pineapple in it doesn't make it Hawaiian. Just because you put pineapple in it doesn't make it Hawaiian. This is a person that doesn't understand because, yes, it does. It's my dish. It's my kitchen. This dish is making me proud. And I think it's delicious. And I think it's fun to make. So it doesn't need to be perfect, right? If you can call your seafood dish a stroganoff, then I can call anything I want to put pineapple in Hawaiian. Tough noogies. Right? So don't let cookbooks, celebrity chefs, food TV, colorful magazines convince you that your cooking has to be fancy. It has to be involved. It has to be really difficult. And it must be perfect to have any value at all. Because that's just not true. The non-perfect meal prepared in your home is better than a more perfect meal prepared on TV by someone else. You want to watch it or you want to taste it. You get what I'm saying? Have fun in the kitchen. Create, experiment, discover, chart your own journey. Become a carefree cook. And I'm guessing along the way, not everything is going to be perfect, but maybe it will be next time. Or maybe it won't. Maybe it will be the time after that. But that's the journey of following perfection, not immediately achieving it. And that's the big lie that they're telling you. Enjoy your cooking and you decide what's perfect or not. Okay, well, this week in our Carefree Cooks community, currently filled with more than 15,000 lifetime members of web cooking classes, I'd like to see less apologies. It's another motivator for me speaking to you this way today. Please stop apologizing if your dish isn't perfect. We are a learning community. Your dish doesn't have to be perfect. And if you're waiting, if you're hesitating to post photos of the things that you're cooking using web cooking classes, please stop hesitating. Your non-perfect dishes are more important than the perfect ones because the non-perfect ones are where you get help. The non-perfect ones are where the people who came before you jump in and they go, oh, I did that. I made that mistake. You could do this. Try this. Think about that. If you're hesitating, don't. The learning is in the non-perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It only needs to be great to you, okay? That's the criteria. Like if you think it's great and it makes you proud, that's it. That's all you need. Perfection only defined by you. No TV show, no cookbook can give you pride in your cooking. You give you pride in cooking. And only becoming empowered in how cooking works gives you pride. That's the whole idea behind it. And since our topic is the non-perfect today, let's see who is sharing their works in progress, okay? Never imperfect, just a work in progress. Remember, beginning of the show? Remember, part of our creed is that we learn every time we cook? Let's keep that in mind. That's important. We learn every time we cook. So, Connie. Hey, Connie. Connie was one of the 900 plus people, it was incredible, in my onion tart class on Saturday. And she decided to do her own version, also with phyllo dough that has been serving time in her freezer, like my phyllo dough. She says, I did it like Chef Todd did. It's not perfect, but I love it. That's the idea. That's the idea. Tracy's first post. This is Tracy's very first post in our Carefree Cooks community. Good for you, Tracy. That's brave. I'm glad. Just like I was saying. It's also Tracy's first ever fettuccine Alfredo dish from scratch. It is also Tracy's first ever bechamel sauce that she made. And she says it wasn't perfect, but she's already saying what she would do the next time. It wasn't perfect, but next time I will. Remember the phrase? We did a whole show on next time I will. And that is how you progress your cooking. Our friend Bill Monsky is in the house. He's working on his hollandaise. Okay, it's really good. It looks good, but it's not perfect. Bill wants to keep working on it. But again, doesn't need to be perfect. Needs to be really good. It's a good looking dish, nonetheless. Diane is taking the lead from the kitchen prep day that I did, I think, 2 Saturdays ago. She's roasting garlic for future dishes. She obviously really loves garlic. It's got a nice heart hug to it there. And the only thing not perfect about this garlic right here, she says, is that she needed to do twice as much. It was so good. Oh, Marilyn is picking up on some of our lives from a Saturday or 2 ago, where we did the avocado bird's nest. She had the same trouble that I did. I was live on the internet. There's no editing for me, and my egg slid off to the side, but I showed you how to fix it. So she noticed in this instance that her avocados were too ripe. As soon as they hit the heat, they kind of turned to mush, but she learned. So next time, less ripe avocados, right? And so then next time it'll be perfect, right? Probably not, but you'll learn something. But each time that you create a dish, you enjoy the process, you enjoy the food, and that's, again, where the learning and the pride comes from. Look, it doesn't have to be perfect this time. Maybe it'll be perfect next time. Maybe it won't be perfect next time, because the fun, again, is in the discovery, not in the seeking of perfection. Okay, so let's get back to the true or false today. Salted water will boil more quickly than fresh water. Is a tricky one. Ultimately, this is false. It's a household false, I would say, because people put like a tablespoon of salt in a gallon of water. Does nothing. That is not going to move the needle at all. Now, if you put about a quart container, you put about 25% salt into the water, then you will move the needle. The water needs to be so salt saturated to even move that 1 degree. There's a whole formula for it I'm not going to bother you with, but if you did it just to get a few degrees lower on your boiling, your pasta would taste like a salt lick. So this is another one of these myths. A tablespoon of salt does not lower the boiling point of your pasta. Climbing a mountain will lower the boiling point. That would be the best thing to do. Hey, look, if you know someone who thinks their cooking needs to be absolutely perfect to warrant cooking at all, please tell them. Stop watching the food TV. And then you can have like this video and you can share this with them so they can chill out, relax, cook with creativity, confidence, and pride. Have you changed your cooking for fall yet? Oh, goodness, you might even not know that you got to change your cooking with the seasons. You might not know how to change your cooking for fall, and if that's the case, I got you covered. You might be missing out on nutrition of fall foods. I'd hate to hear that. You might be ignoring some of these exciting ingredients you don't use any other time of year. I don't want you to do that either. So that's why I've created a free online class to help you transition your cooking smoothly from summer to fall. Fall Cooking is Cozy outlines the 3 surprising changes that I make in my kitchen to enrich my cooking for fall. So go to webcookingclasses.com/cozy to hold your spot in one of the upcoming classes. Hey, it's Chef Todd Moore reminding you that your cooking doesn't have to be perfect out there, but there is a method to your cooking success. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.